four,
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
Yo, Tarek. Mm, mm, mm. Arcade.
Yeah, I'm live on YouTube.
Okay.
Bone shaking and counter make the skull upset. No, done set. Back of the class, man, on a subject. Even gotten gal in order to be my one rough sex. She love the molly hard, but you no drunk yet. Shift the crown hard and make she get upset. You want money on the subject. You want money on the subject.
Who does this song?
But
Valiant.
I like it. I've been hearing it since it's new.
New song. But I've
Yeah,
been
me
hearing
from what they.
about it. Well, hey,
Yeah, I hear
everybody.
a lot of people singing it, and I like it.
Corner. Welcome to Immigration Corner.
Hey
How are you,
everyone, good
Kay?
night.
Welcome. So we're going to play Don's Check.
If you're coming in, like and share. We have a phenomenal show lined up.
Arcade. Bone shaking and counter make the skull upset. No, done set. Back of the class, man, on a subject. Even gotten gal in order to be my one
Mike
rough sex.
Dansaka, how are you?
She no drunk yet.
Hey Victorian, like and share. I can't even call these names. Thanks guys for joining
Oh,
us.
that's Dr. Ware. Dr. Ware is saying with Don Sago.
Hi Dr. Ware, how are you? We don't sago.
Science, hold on, client. PDF file ready. New pan belly, can't hold pan belly. Ratchet in her ears, now send him down a medic. May have the soul, she's skull of good credit. Bone shaking and counter make the skull upset. No, done set. Back of the class, man, on a subject. Even gotten gal in her.
All right, on that note.
Hey, follow me now, where see you now. Hey, upset, sir. See how upset that.
Good night, everyone. We have a great show lined up.
I'm with you know that I'm with. Hey, watch out now. I'm on the set. Oh, we're winning right now, you be. Say we're
We're
winning
winning right
right now.
now.
It's the one we living right now, cause I'm winning right now, yeah. And I'm chilling
We're winning
right
right now.
now. Oh, we're winning right now. On Thanksgiving right now, cause we're winning right now, yeah. I'm winning.
I'm winning.
I'm winning. Hey, watch out now. Hey, I'm a walking W. Learn from the else. Put them in a medal in a trophy that bells.
We have a great show lined up. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Remember to like and share. We really appreciate you guys coming in. Like and share the program. And we're going to get started with just a warm up. Everybody have the World Cup feelings. Who's watching the World Cup? Who's going for Brazil? I hope you have no feelings. Nobody's going for Qatar. I mean, you nobody cheer for Qatar. I want so.
Come on. Brazil. I see Don Saka says Brazil.
Oh, somebody said Brazil. Okay.
Say we're winning right now. If we get that trophy to what we living right now. Cause I'm winning right now, yeah. And I'm chilling right now.
What's in your cup today, Council?
Okay, so today I am in Louisiana, so I have swamp water and hurricane in my cup.
What the hell is swamp water?
All right, so here in the South, is this the South, right? They have these shops. They're like drive-through shops where you can buy your alcohol in a cup. It comes in like a cup. You know how you go to the store and buy a Coke or a Diet Coke? You can do the same. And they have all these machines, and these drinks are semi-frozen. And they have all kinds of drinks in them. And so today I went with swamp water and hurricane. All right, guys, thank you for coming in. Somebody there, good night. Brazil, them I say, Brazil, them I say. We have a great show lined up for you guys.
Okay. So today, Thanksgiving is upon us in the state for those who are in the states, and for those who celebrate Thanksgiving. I guess it's a holiday where family and friends and everybody come together to cook and eat and chat and gallivant and all of that. So
I think it's probably one of the largest holidays in the States, right?
it is.
That's what
It
I
is.
thought.
Hey, Lost Boss. Hey, Dr. Brown.
All right, guys, we're live. Like and share. We have a phenomenal program lined up tonight. So make sure you're liking and sharing the thing. If you're over on Winter Law Practice, what your Lost Boss say? Brazilian say, Kuya.
Yeah.
My God. I thought he was Jamaican. He's Brazilian.
Apparently.
Brazilian that.
All right. Darren, why would the embassy grant you 7 working visa but deny you of his
7. What is 7 working? What do you mean 7 working visa?
Colleen,
Meaning 7
we gotta
times?
get to it. Why would the embassy grant you 7 working visa but denies you a visiting visa? We're gonna talk about it.
7 means granted it's 7 times.
Yeah, or maybe they would have traveled 7 times on a work program.
On a working visa, okay.
Yeah, when they go for their regular B1, B2, they cancel.
But denies you a visiting visa. Yeah.
Right.
What Jeremy said, dual citizenship, travels 7 times on H2B and J1, but denied visiting. Okay. I see what Colleen says.
Right. All right. So we like and share. I see the numbers going up, which is excellent.
Like and share. We're going to spend 60 seconds for everybody to like and tag 10 people. I want each of you to tag 10 people. 10 people. Like and tag 10 people. Because the quicker you tag, the show go.
Joanna, your busy body busy tonight. Joanna, making on the dummy tonight. Joanna, your busy body giving me life, oh, hey life, hey. How you do me like Joanna?
Like and share, people. I want you to share it 7 times, Colleen, into 7 groups that you belong to.
How you gonna do me like Joanna? Joanna, hey Joanna, hey Joanna, Joanna, ay ay ay, hey. How you gonna play me like Drogba? How you gonna do me like Drogba? Oh, DJ.
What is that? Early settings.
Early juggling.
DJ Drogba. Joanna, go busy.
Like and share, guys.
Nice. Joanna, making all the dummy tonight. Joanna, your busy body giving me life, oh, hey life, hey. How you do me like Joanna? Joanna. How you do me like Joanna? Joanna. How you gonna do me like Joanna? Joanna. Hey Joanna. Joanna.
All right, like and share. We'll soon get started.
Over there in Cayman Islands. All right.
Who's in Cayman Islands?
Dream Peters Ilton.
Oh, wow. Good evening from, this is an international show.
Then what you think, D?
It's international. Drop your flag where you're joining us from. Or where you're joining us from. I see Grand Cayman.
Those who are on, just comment where you're logging in from. Put the flag or type the name.
Hey, you gonna make me turn savage. Hey, body cause damage. Hey, Joanna.
Alright, so let's do a little more music until some more people come on.
And then we get started.
you gonna do it like Joanna? Joanna. Hey, Joanna. Hey, Joanna. Joanna. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, how you gonna play me like
Argentina. Tiffany Brown.
Dr. Brown, you're coming in from Buenos Aires. All right.
Tiffany Brown is Argentina. I love it.
Aldina is coming in from that's Grand Cayman. Grand Cayman as well. I did do social studies in a school now, so I know my flag color them.
Mm-hmm. That's a Grand Cayman flag.
Grand Cayman.
And it's funny, I learned a lot of flags through clients. Whenever I meet them, I look up their flag and something.
Oh,
We
okay.
try to learn about the country, so at least I
Yeah,
understand culturally what's going on.
Right. Which is important.
Mm-hmm. So, guys, tonight we're going to talk about VAWA. It's a tag anyone you know.
VAWA.
Tag anyone you know that might be interested. AWA, Violence Against the Woman Act.
Never will ignore your time. No girlfriend can take your stride for where you're used. That's not your sign. Woman, you know, say your boy come far. Your friend them must say your boy constant. Woman, you general, you can't punk her. Love me, mother, what can you talk about her?
You know anybody that was married? Oh yeah, love. So if you know anybody that was married,
we're typing the same thing and it's going 2 times.
No, I'm not typing anything.
Oh, so I'm doing it.
I was wondering where it was going. Darren, I was sitting over here wondering where is it coming from.
Maybe it could be your assistant.
I was like, wait, Brianna is on here. Because when I do like my lives, I have somebody in the back. Somebody can say, what about? No, me there. I sit, me look at drinks and a dance.
Never will ignore your time. Now shuffle my one mother to the side. Anybody know?
All right, let's get started.
All right. Make them one more before we start.
One more song?
One more.
All right. So everybody, while I'm not seasoning the curry goat, seasoning the oxtail, Professor Johnson, what's in your cup?
I love you.
Rum punch.
I love this song.
Your mercy never
Me too.
fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I
wake up
until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh,
I will sing
of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You will lead me through the fire, and in darkest night, you were close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. Yeah.
All my life, you have been
faithful.
all my life, you have been so good. With every
see of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running out, it's running out. Your goodness is running out, it's running out. In my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running out, it's running out to me. Your goodness is running out, it's running out to me. Your goodness is running out, it's running out to me. In my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness running, it keeps running after me. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. Every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say, 'cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so
Stacey and Martin said present. Welcome. With every
All right.
All right, everyone. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All righty. So today we're gonna be talking about VAWA. And we typed it in the chat, VAWA. And VAWA stands for the
Violence Against Men and Women Act.
all right. So that's Violence Against Men and Women Act.
Even though the M is not in there, but it now includes men.
Yes, it does. And that's why we have people like Immigration Boss and Legal Rebel who really work closely as well to make sure that men, because sometimes men do shy away from this, which we'll get into, because they don't know that there are reliefs out there for them, just um, as females do too. So we're gonna talk about it. All right.
Shanna Kale, I'll check that. I don't see an email from you, my love.
Right.
I am like super good on emails, so send me another one.
Right.
Send me
And
another
before
one,
the
Shanna
next one,
Kale.
we'll
Forward it,
respond.
please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good about responding.
Cheers.
All right,
No,
Professor Johnson, so we're talking about VAWA tonight. Tell us
we're
about
talking
who you
about
are first. Tell us about
all
who
right.
you are first and what you do, because I know you're always interviewing people. So
Oh, me.
position
Of
yourself
course.
first.
So, of course, I'm Professor Darren Johnson, a teacher by profession. I teach at university here in Maryland. I also work as a global immigration specialist with trained attorneys. My focus is really on naturalization, family petition, and I also do VAWA applications as well, along with the regular direct consular filing and stuff like that through my consultancy. So I'm all in the immigration game. I started DJ Consulting Services with the aim to educate. The slogan is where education and the law meet. So the whole purpose of it and I'll keep saying this, is that it's like a vehicle, and we're using that vehicle to kind of really bring everybody on board, to make people aware um, about the different reliefs that are out there to them. We're in the immigration world. So that's me in a nutshell. D.
And I am Diani Winterfunde. I am the owner, founder, and CEO of Winter Enterprises. And under Winter Enterprises, we have the Winter Immigration Law Academy, and we also have the Winter Immigration and Winter Law Practice firms. We have offices in Tampa and Oteris, Jamaica. In my capacity in the academy, we're bridging that gap between the non attorney and the attorney. Because in my mind, I really, you hear me say this a lot, I don't care who represents the immigrant so long as the immigrant gets quality legal representation. So under me, I'll have a lot of individuals like Professor Darren Johnson, who they go on and represent individuals, but it's their own business. I just provide guidance so they don't run afoul of the law. Most of you don't know that under federal law, pretty much anyone can represent individuals under federal law. There are some restrictions and limitations, but that's where the academy comes in. So that's what we do. And this show really fits and dovetails into what Professor Darren Johnson does as far as education and the law. That is why we'll have topics where we try to educate and inform, and you can ask some questions. This is a safe space. And so that's the purpose behind Immigration Corner.
Right.
Welcome, welcome, everyone. We're here every Monday and Wednesday at a time when we feel like. We don't have a set time.
Right. So
We just come when we feel like.
right. Which also kind of remind me to say too. So when people reach out and they'll be like, "Oh, you're a lawyer?" I'll tell you, I'm not a lawyer, but I work with attorneys. I have two lead attorneys that I work with. Diani Winterfunde and Kevin Miller. They are based there. One is a immigration attorney. Diani, she would have been doing immigration for over 20 years.
17 months.
Right.
So they have the great ear them for sure.
So whenever you come to me, if you come to me, you're gonna get a little bit of them too, especially if it's something that requires them as attorneys. So just bear that in mind as we go along. But tonight we're gonna talk about VAWA, and I mean VAWA. I think VAWA became a buzzword maybe about 2 or so years ago. I think it's always been there.
It's always been there, but I don't know that a lot of people took advantage of VAWA, but VAWA has always been on the book.
Been there. So maybe about 5 years ago. So it really came out as a buzz benefit that people can petition on their own if they have a petitioner, and that's a person who is filing for you in our terms colloquially. Then depending on what the situation is, we might be able to assess your problem or your challenges, and then determine whether or not VAWA would be fitting. 9 out of 10 times, D.
Right.
9 out of 10 times, there's something. Alicia, so we're not hearing.
She's not hearing us.
I wonder if I'm black. Then go black with Jesus.
I wonder if it's the music.
Can someone else comment to see if they're hearing or not?
Alicia said we're no audio.
Alicia
Colleen Johnson is hearing.
Colina, yeah. So maybe something wrong with your computer.
I turned my volume up.
Can somebody else comment to say okay?
Tiffany's hearing.
Yeah, so let's change your maybe something is wrong.
Maybe log out and come back in. Turn off.
Yes, and come back in.
Thank you. Ohai is hearing. Good night, Ohai. Jeremy says she alone. Jeremy.
Leave this McLean alone, Miss McLean is a teacher down there, Marcus Garvey High. And see Miss McFarlane, my lovely teacher and mentor, she's here. tuning in live from New York.
Good
Miss
night, Chelsea.
Nevers,
So Chelsea
Chelsea
says she's
Clark.
hearing. Genevieve is hearing.
Yes, loud
Loud
and
and
clear.
clear.
Right.
Miss Colleen John says something wrong with Alicia. Leave it to Jamaicans.
All right. So
Good
D,
evening, sir. Good evening.
let's talk about VAWA. Um Violence against women act. And as you said, it's not only for women, but it's also
Mhm,
applicable to man. So an example, I come or Diani, husband filed for her, and we're talking, we're hypothetically speaking now, like we're making up things, it fake, right?
mhm,
So Diani came to America. Diani husband decided that maybe 6 months down the road, he's not going to petition for her. He starts to, keep other extramarital affairs out there. He's not providing for her financially. He's very abusive, and we're gonna break down the
Well, Mr.
abuse.
Dianyaka, you know, say me that chop him up. Use another name.
Make we say Pam. Pam. All right.
Pam. Because
Pam.
Dion is of the world now, put up with them madness there. We don't need.
Right. But
But no, keep going. So yeah,
so,
you're on
so
a good track. Yes.
very abusive, says
Mhm,
things, very mean. So there's some verbal abuse. And very touchy too. I might grab her up a few times. So he gets physical at times with Pam. And
mhm,
Pam is scared out of her wits. She don't know where to turn, and she
mhm.
feels as though she has to stay because, quite frankly, Pam tell me that she sell every god thing at
And
Jamaica
Jamaica
and left.
or in our home
So
country.
she left her work, and she and Cindy did they never get along so well, and she cuss out Cindy and said, "Listen, me I left this I work here, me I go a foreign." Yeah, and
Mhm.
she came, and that's the situation that happened. Right. Cause Pam always find them Monday.
Yeah, Dion did not find them Monday.
All right.
Dion in a
So
done.
so I mean Pam now is all frustrated and just don't where does she turn? I mean,
Mhm.
what's there for me? Because at the end of the day, if the man no put in the petition, how me I go get my papers?
Right, right, right.
That is where VAWA comes in. And
Mhm.
I'll allow counsel to kind of shed some
Right.
more light on that
And just
example.
to shed light, and I'm glad we're discussing this tonight. And of course, we try to make the conversation light, but this is a serious conversation,
Mm-hmm.
especially in light of November 25th. For those of you who don't know, is the beginning of it's a celebration of gender-based violence and ending gender-based violence by the United Nations. That kicks off on November 25th. So mark your calendars. And no, it's not the same as seeking asylum. VAWA is its unique. When we think about immigration to the United States,
Mm-hmm.
we hear of family, we hear about employment, we hear about investment, all of which we have discussed or will discuss on this show.
Right.
When we think of VAWA, we're thinking of a more humanitarian type of visa. So, Mr. Ohai, you're really on point when you said, is it the same as seeking asylum? Because VAWA and asylum rest in the same corner of our immigration laws. It's more that soft spot, meaning somebody is a victim. So
Mm-hmm.
VAWA rests right in there. And the Violence Against Women Act was signed into law back in 1994 by then President Clinton. So this is not really a new body of law, but I think as far as the legal counsels in immigration in the last maybe 5 or 7 years, I've seen this really awakening of
Mm-hmm.
VAWA petitions.
Right.
I've also seen the abuse of the petitions, but I'm not going to talk about the abuse. So essentially, Pam, right, has to show that she has encountered some kind of abuse. And here in our jurisprudence, we use abuse loosely.
Right.
It doesn't mean physical only. I know with a lot of us, we think abuse meaning punch me. I
Mm-hmm.
love when you said, he took the finances, he did all these things, because that is abuse, right? And the abuse can be physical, it can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be verbal, you name it, we can put it into a VAWA application, right?
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be a husband either, or a spouse. It can
Mm-hmm.
be parent, spouse, or child, meaning your child bring you come to America and them start abusing and don't want to put in the paperwork. You can file for yourself. So the abuse has to be by a parent, a spouse, or a child. They have to be either a United States citizen or a green card holder.
Right.
All right. If they're not a citizen, if they're just, if they're not a citizen or a green card holder, then VAWA would not apply.
All right. How
That
we
was a
going on so
mouthful.
far? Yes. So just comment and let me see if we're following, and if we're making sense. I know we're making sense, but we want to make sure that you are gleaning the
Cora
information.
Obidi, come listen. I've been following Cora's story, Miss Colleen. She wouldn't need VAWA because she already has a green card.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
love, I love that. Yeah, Cora wouldn't really need VAWA because she got her 2-year green card already.
What's that? A show?
No, Cora Obidi is a Nigerian influencer, and she's going through like a bitter breakup with her husband out in
Oh,
California.
okay. Right. So we come to you now. They come to me, because they're going through this. Pam is going through this, and so as Diani mentioned, we would have to make sure that some sort of abuse is highlighted in the whole situation. So as she mentioned, it could be physical abuse, like them lick you, or thump you, kick you, whatever. It could be verbal abuse. This is some really mean things to you that make you feel less of a person, that makes you feel like you're not worth it, or you don't belong here. It could be financial abuse, where they're not helping you to pay the bills, or they're kind of scamming you, in a sense, as we would put it. Scam you pretty much. So you pay for everything and they're not contributing anything at all, right? Where the finances are concerned. So basically all your finances are gone, are pretty much depleted because of this relationship. It could be that you're here a dropout, you develop some sort of health complication as a result of the stress and everything that you're going through. All of those are really, really good evidence that we can say, all right, let's do this. So as counsel says, what VAWA basically does is take the citizen who is filing for you. So the petitioner who will file for you, you basically grab them out of the way and say, here what? VAWA will protect you. This act will protect you. And so we'll use this act to kind of have you petition for yourself. Dr. Brown says, what if they're lying? I've seen cases where spouses lie. When you say spouses, meaning the one who wants the green card, you're muted,
Yeah,
counsel.
clarify, Tiffany,
Clarify which one of this,
because
who
I
is
actually, I actually like that question, but I want to
right.
make sure I understand.
So you mean
Ask.
the spouse who wants the green card lie? I think she's saying yes.
I think she's saying yes.
All right. Okay, the one. Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
So I mean, and Counsel, you can correct me if I'm wrong. In that event, Dr. Brown, we still would have to show that this VAWA is like a three-pronged process, right?
Mhm.
So we have to show that this marriage was in fact entered in good faith. And by that we mean there were commingling of assets, like there's a bank account and a mixing up on the money together. We probably could get sworn affidavits from people to say, um, they know that the relationship is real and it's genuine and you love each other. Um, Tenant, joint, lease, all of those things that would kind of use to show that the marriage is real. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is the abuse, right? So with the abuse, because anybody can come and say, listen, this stressed me out or this stressed me out. But we as the legal representatives for you, we work with m- medical professionals, we work with doctors, we work with counselors. And so what we do, a client comes in for that, and that's one of the issue. We're automatically going to schedule you to meet with these professionals, whether it be a psychologist, whether it be a doctor, whatever the abuse is. Then we would need some sort of medical, what do you call it, to authorize or to confirm.
Medical evaluation,
Right.
psychological evaluations.
Right.
We'll do all kinds of
Confirm
evaluations.
that this is the abuse that we're saying is in fact so. You would meet with them for over a period of time to confirm. So yes, they can lie, but 9 out of 10 times immigration will pick it up when spouses lie. And if you work with a really good lawyer too, like a Diani, I've seen in instances where it's not that she turned back any clients, but you have to, and in any lawyer you're working with, you have to come with the truth. You have to tell
Mhm.
your lawyers the truth, because at the end of the day, when they go in front of a judge or anything they're faced with, they need to know all the facts so that they can properly advocate for you. So,
And I'll open that to say, based on the question asked, what if they're lying?
mhm,
So I always say, what do you mean? What are they lying about? Like, you're saying they weren't married? You're saying the marriage wasn't real?
right,
What are you, what? Because here's the thing with VAWA, you have to show that there was a marriage, and by showing that, we have to show, we have to use Tiffany, a marriage certificate.
right,
So simply because you and someone have a disagreement doesn't mean you get to hold that immigration thing over their heads.
mhm,
You can't do that. You can't say, you know what, I've changed my mind, I'm not going to file for you anymore. You cannot do that. If you bring
right,
somebody from their home country, not you, Tiffany, but generally speaking, you're not supposed to do that. And
mhm.
we understand marriages don't always last,
You
but
know,
it doesn't mean it wasn't real. Because with
right,
VAWA, we're showing one, like you said, Professor Johnson,
mhm,
was there a bona fide marriage? Two,
mhm,
was there abuse?
mhm,
And three, are you a citizen? Are you a green card holder? So once we can establish those things under the law, then we have a VAWA application. And
right,
I'm not gonna jinx myself, but I really, 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 here's the thing with VAWA. A lot of people don't want to come out and say, especially men, they don't want to
mhm,
come out and say they've been abused.
right.
They don't want to do it. So
I think
I'm
I
always
wrote something on that too the other day, because it's something I've seen since I've been in this space. You have a lot of men who would have gone through a lot of abuse,
um,
but our
El
culture,
Ambian, El
yeah,
Ambian, El
yes,
Ambian.
culture though kind of sets us or put out an idea that we shouldn't talk about it or we shouldn't seek help, when in fact a lot of men can get a lot of help, a lot of relief when it comes to immigration, because sometimes relationships get sour. Man might do something out the road, woman might do something out the road, vice versa, and that caused some sort of breakdown in the relationship, in the marriage, and it gets sour. And so then it starts that way. So it's an appeal, it's a challenge to men as well who are watching. If you're in the States and things now go right, and the truth, and you know in yourself that listen, my marriage real, but this is just not working out, because at the end of the day, as council says, immigration knows and they understand that marriages are going to break up. They understand that marriages are going to break down. So everybody now have to, it means they have to deal with it 150 years, because if it now work, it now work. You're muted, council.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't want to keep talking over you. That's why I mute.
Okay,
It
right, but
forces, it forces me to listen.
right, but if it now work, it
It
just now
now
work,
work.
right? And so you don't want to tie yourself in that toxic family
Environment.
environment to kind of break it down. You left your come here, you have 6 pitney down there and 3 up here, to take care of, and it's difficult. So it's very important that you kind of reach out to
And
someone.
one of the questions I get a lot too, if for those people that are watching from overseas, they're like,
Mhm.
"Wait, I married somebody, and they come to Jamaica and abuse me and leave." There are little exceptions for that. That person has to be like military service or government official, and
Mhm.
we can file those VAWA applications even though you've never entered the United States. So I
So
want you to keep that in mind for my people that are watching. If you know anyone overseas, because a lot
right.
of times we say physically you have to be in the PAM has to be here.
Right.
But there's a little exception in the law that allows for service members like military, armed forces, Navy. If
Mhm.
you are living overseas and you marry a service member and there's some kind of abuse, you can be eligible for VAWA.
Right.
And Ohio, in a case like that, is the abuser liable to be charged? It
Mhm.
depends, right? Um, for a VAWA application, I don't need a police record. Like I don't necessarily need a police report. So
Mhm.
like Pam doesn't have to bring me a police report saying, "Oh, he punched me."
Mhm.
And when Pam comes to me, I'm not calling the police either because my focus is the immigration process,
Right.
really necessarily getting on the phone. So,
Mhm.
is there a liability to be charged if Pam wants to go and make a report, a
She can.
domestic violence report? She definitely can, or
Right.
he can, or they can.
And I
And
mean that
I
the
I know
report.
we're saying she. Let's use they so people are aware it's not just women.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're male or female, you're eligible for VAWA.
Right. All right. So, council, let's walk through the process. So, they came in and we decided that, all right, they're eligible for VAWA, or Pam is eligible for VAWA, or so you said they. So, they are eligible for VAWA, right?
Mhm, mhm.
What's the next step?
The next step is I remember we said spouse, parent, or child, right? The next
Hmm.
step I always do an evaluation
Right.
and I kind of see, okay, how bad it was. I typically send them off to get a psych evaluation. I do a psych eval with all my VAWAs because I've found over the years that individuals will be super honest with a psychologist than
Hmm.
sometimes they are with me. And
They're
to
trained.
some there's a lot of trauma in this. When you have
Hmm.
a male or a female sitting across from you owning up to the fact that there a lot of times when I meet a VAWA applicant, they're probably at the lowest. Like Pam, you talk about Pam left her home behind, left her job, left her all of this, and now she finds herself in this predicament. They're at their lowest. So I always request, if they have a pastor, I say go talk to the pastor, or I always request they go see a psychologist. So the
And then
step one, go ahead.
go ahead, council, go ahead.
So, step one, we file the application with the United States Citizens and Immigration Service.
Hmm.
Keep in mind, if you're also going through deportation, I love a good VAWA defense in deportation, but we'll leave that for another day. So
Right.
we file the application with immigration. It's a form. If you're listening, it's a form I-360.
Hmm.
We file that. Depends how I feel. I might do a one-step process where I do the application plus the adjustment of status in one. It depends
Right.
how strong I feel about the case. But step one, we're
Hmm.
filing that application. With that application, I'm submitting a personal statement. I want Pam to tell me every instance of abuse that she encountered. I want her to tell me her personal story.
About where she came
Yes,
from, how she started,
everything.
all of that.
Everything. I've spoken to immigration officers that adjudicate VAWA applications, and they'll tell me the first thing they probably go to is that personal statement from the applicant, not what I wrote, not all them documents, because they want to get an understanding. So when I have my applicant writing what I call their personal affidavit, their personal statement, I phrase it as a letter to the immigration. All right. I
Hmm.
phrase, dear immigration officer, my name is Pam. I was born in Jamaica. I attended Rural Retreat Basic School, then Claremont Olive School. I got this, that, and the third. In Jamaica, I worked for this, that, and the third. I was very honest. I worked at a bank because VAWA also talks about good moral character. So I'm setting up Pam as a choir boy or choir girl,
Mm-hmm.
meaning show them how good you are. So I use that personal statement. I even
Mm-hmm.
say, I met the husband on January 4th, da 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 da.
Right.
Everything was going great until I came to the United States and he took my passport. Then I start going into and VAWA says abuse or extreme cruelty. So I go into those factors because I know what abuse should look like. I know what the law says extreme cruelty is. So
Right.
I flush those out of my client.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't
Okay.
allow me to make phone calls to my children back home. That is abuse.
Or my parents.
Or my parents. That's abuse, guys.
Or I can't send money to my parents.
And no money, even though me at work, every money going to the joint bank account, and they take all the money from the bank account.
Mm-hmm. And please, we're not making up this stuff. It happens
It
daily.
happens a lot. It happens a
Daily.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
It happens a lot.
Right.
So
So,
that's so we
mhm,
filed that application. It looks it's a very robust application
mhm,
because we want the government to issue what we call a prima facie determination,
mhm.
meaning we've made a good faith effort because out of that Pam can get a social. Pam can get one little work permit. Yes, Pam can go and set up herself while we wait for the process. Because it's a long process, and most of our applications are between 3 and 5 years.
Yes, so it takes some
Long
time.
process. Mhm.
Right. So I know we love to ask, how long it will take,
How long it
please?
go take? Everybody question. How long it go take?
Possibly it can take a little while, but the good
It
thing
takes a
is it
little
can
while.
work. It can
Mhm.
work. Sometimes you can even, if cause put in the I-313, the travel document as well.
They can
And
travel.
somebody dead down in Jamaica or
They can
Dominica,
run go home.
go down there and come back. So
Yeah.
you're getting those benefits, I
Mhm.
would say temporarily until everything officially goes through.
Mhm.
Um, Colleen, let's just read some comments. Colleen, I learned so much for the few minutes, and this is totally free info. Thanks to you both. Um, Ojai says here we don't say deportation, we say if you're being posted.
If you're being posted, you're
If
being.
you're being posted. All right. Spence says, good night, guys. Very informative as usual. Good night, Mr. Spence. Mrs. Stewart says, Jeremy
Jeremy
Dog.
Dance Guava.
All right. But yes, and I love the feedback. I'm glad you guys are actually learning from it. You're gleaning from it. Because the truth is, if you're supposed to grab Diani on a regular day for this sort of information, you're gonna have to pay her like about $575. If you're supposed to grab me on a regular day for me to educate you on this, because I don't give legal advice, but
Yeah.
just to educate you on this, it's gonna cost you about $389. So run with the free
But
knowledge.
run with it, run
Run
with
with
it, run with it.
right. So what if Pam does self inflicted injury and you find out, what would be the consequences for Pam?
Immigration fraud.
Lie.
Yep, that's lying. If
Right.
Pam, if the officers, and if Pam confesses to me, I cannot advance a lie on behalf of anyone. So if
Right.
Pam
A lawyer.
confesses to me that it's a lie, then I have to withdraw. I don't report people to immigration, Colleen. What I will typically do, and the court knows, and immigration knows, when they see a lawyer withdraw from a case, they know it's either the client not pay, we are something go wrong. So I would withdraw. I would not
Advance.
report
Okay.
Pam at all. No, I would just withdraw from the case and wish Pam the best.
Right. But
Which
and
happens with which
eventually,
happens, yeah.
eventually, immigration is gonna probably get Pam for fraud, immigration
Mhm.
fraud, and probably Pam will never be able to get any sort of benefits in the US at
Yep.
all.
And I can
Maybe.
also say too, when I see somebody imposing injury on themselves, that's why I'm bringing my
Psychology.
yes, because if some people can be in a really bad relationship to the point where they want to hurt themselves, so that is
Yes.
also trauma as well. And I'm not, well, I am. I'm an immigration lawyer, right? It's what I do. So if
Hmm.
somebody comes to me, somebody presents themselves to me,
Hmm.
Professor Johnson, they're hurting themselves.
Right.
Me want to get a psych evaluation to find out what's going on at home. Why
Hmm.
this woman threw herself down the stairs?
Right. And sometimes, too, I think from experience, because I would have spoken to persons clients before, and even the very way they talk, you can
Mm-hmm.
sense the fear, and so that something is going on. And so right away, as a professional there, you're like, you have to go for an
Go
evaluation,
talk to someone.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
regardless. And so then we take that report and kind of put it to your thing as well to substantiate what we are saying in your personal statement, the abuse and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we file all of that. So that's step one. And then you said we submit it. And if it gets approved, they give us something that's called the prima facie.
Not even approved. It's not approved yet, but
Well, not approved,
but we
it,
make a good faith.
yeah. So
It
it's
looks
like
good
it's like the
faith.
start. It's like a ladder,
Yeah.
and you're at certain level going up, but you don't reach halfway yet, but it's a start.
Yeah,
Right?
prima facie, I think it means it's Latin for on its face or some language. It just
Mm-hmm.
means it's like a first type of, okay, this looks okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then after a while, you can use that prima facie determination to get a work authorization, to get a social security number. The last I checked, I believe there are 10,000 VAWA visas, we call them visas, but green cards, that are approved each year. So
Mm-hmm.
if in a year there's 20,000 filed, that means that the other 10,000 just keep getting rolled over.
Right.
I don't quote me on that number, but there's a limited amount of, and that's why you see people wait out 3 to 5 years
Right. It takes
before
a
they.
little.
It takes a little time. It takes a
Mhm.
little time. Once we get that approval on the VAWA, then we file Professor Johnson the adjustment of status, and you
Adjustment.
can talk about that because it's
Right.
the same adjustment of status.
Right. So the adjustment of status, of course, you're gonna submit certain documents that they would require,
Hmm.
and we submit that so that at least, because I mean, you would be here pretty much illegal, right? So then we would file that adjustment of status so that you're legitimized here
Right.
as a green card holder.
Mhm.
Um, and then after that, you live your life. That's all.
Yep, you go on, and once hopefully there are no red flags. There,
Then too, I
in the
know a
red.
lot of people are saying, but can I file VAWA and be divorced?
Yes.
Yes, you can. So
You.
you can be divorced.
However, if you're divorced, statutorily you have to file vow within 2 years of the divorce.
Right. It's
So
very
once you
important.
divorce the abusive partner,
Hmm.
um, there's a clock that starts to run. So that application must be filed within 2 years.
So you can be divorced if you want to file for VAWA, but you have
Mhm.
to do it within the
Within
two
2 years.
years.
And let me tell you something really neat with vow, my love. You
Hmm.
can't stay with a man or a woman and file a vow. You know, have to move out, you know, have to left, you know, have to divorce. If I couldn't foolishness, you can just stay. You can
Right.
literally stay and file the application.
So in a sense, we wouldn't say don't say just use your head. Are your text sleep mark date and do what you have to do.
And no paperwork goes to the home. When you use an
Right.
attorney, the
It
attorney
goes to the
gets
firm.
two. Yes, we'll
Or
get
we
two
ask you for an
notices.
address that you trust
Mhm.
somebody and you'd want your mails to go there. So
Mhm.
once an attorney is on the file, the attorney gets a copy and a copy goes to that address as well.
Mhm.
So then nothing will come there for
Nothing. He won't know anything.
no
You get
nothing.
up on bed and go do your fingerprint. You get up on bed and
Mm-hmm.
go your interview if they schedule you for one. You get up on bed and your green card coming at the mail, and then you pack your little bag and you go on about your business.
Down in Jamaica and you must say, but they
Oh,
not
she gonna
overcome
Jamaica.
get
She gonna
through.
come back
Right.
and
And I
fly
think
out.
in a nutshell, I think the government put these benefits in place for people to understand that there's not one way out. And so that is why it's important for you to kind of come to the professionals, talk to a lawyer, talk to um, a consultant.
No, don't
And
remarry. Rajay,
someone
don't
say,
remarry.
can you remarry while you're waiting on
No,
approval? No.
no. Sit
'Cause that
tight.
looked very fraudy to me too.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times that when I talk to people, I tell them, put yourself in the officer's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the officer would, what would you do? And 9 out of 10 times you'll be able to come up with something realistic that, listen,
Yeah.
maybe they would look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you're waiting on that benefit. In immigration, are you going to remarry? It's going to look as though, oh, but wait, you can't wait. You will want one green card. What want so?
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? We're going to put you under every scrutiny. and we're gonna request more evidence, and they're gonna dig deep. And I
Oh,
mean, it can be a genuine thing.
it could be real. It could be
Yeah,
fine.
it
No,
could. It's but it's just very troublish. So you want to be careful. Yeah.
we're getting some
Um.
good questions tonight. And
Yes.
guys, when you come here, because I know we're kind of preaching to the choir, when you come here and you get some information, please share it or encourage people to book a chat with Professor Johnson as it relates to VAWA,
Right.
um, and share the information.
So Ajay is saying, what if you're being filed for, but the person who's filing for you dies before the process is completed? Will your case still be processed?
Yeah, there's a section of the law. I think it's 204G
Mm-hmm.
or 204L. I don't remember the section of the law, but we have been able to save petitions where the petitioner dies. There are some limitations or
It's
high.
tricky.
It's
Yeah.
very strict. It's
Yeah.
it's super strict, but there's a section of the Immigration and Nationality Act that really protects individuals when their petitioner dies.
Right. So let's go back to, I think Colleen question initially was, why would the embassy grant me 7 working visa but deny me a visit?
Oh.
So from my knowledge, Colleen, any visa that you get at the embassy on the non-immigrant side, meaning it's temporary, it's not permanent, they give you at their discretion, meaning how they feel. And so when you go to the embassy, um, there are a lot of things that we'd have to kind of dig into in terms of um the times. How did you um do on the 7 visas that if you overstayed? Or they feel like you over there are some factors that we could look into there that might be a reason that they denied, because maybe they say, there's some misrepresentation there. They said they're gonna work for 6 months, but next thing you spend
Mm-hmm.
6 months on one day. It could even be a day.
Mm-hmm.
They'll use it against you. And 9 out of 10 times, or 10 out of 10, immigration don't forgive nobody, and they don't forget nothing. So the visa coming under those the 7 times in America could be something that they look into. Another thing that the embassy wants to know, or an officer wants to know when you go for an interview, is that you're going to go back to your country. And so to determine that, they look at the ties that you have in your home country.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you married? Do you have children? Are you taking care of those children? Do you have a job? Right? Are you gonna go and leave, etc.? Because sometimes it's timing, Colleen. Just imagine you're going for a visa way before the summertime. As a teacher, you're still gonna be teaching. If you're not composed enough and confident enough to let them know that, listen, it's for a trip coming up and it's not, no, they automatically think you're going to run off. Because why? As a teacher, you are work way in a January, and you want to get visa to go way down at Thanksgiving or
Mm-hmm.
where. So sometimes it's a timing too, but it requires you to kind of really be confident, as I've always said, and just let them know that, listen, me no want run off on the country. Me just want go see what one next country like. Me just want go see what one culture like. Me want go see
Yes.
what Christmas look like a foreign. Me want go see what snow look like, just to
Mm-hmm.
experience another culture, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then keep it brief, because sometimes again, even me sometimes chat a little bit too much in terms of giving explanation. I mean, just start
Too
chat.
many things.
Yes, and so
They
sometimes you
don't
have
like
to
that.
keep it concise. So they ask you, where are you going? Diana, we can run one little role play for them.
All right.
Um,
All right.
so
I'll be the
you
officer.
be the officer, you talk to me, and we'll do it even better.
Good afternoon. You're Professor Johnson.
I am. Good afternoon, officer.
All right. And you live in St. Anne?
Yes, I live in Saint Anne.
All right. I'm looking at your application, Professor, and it says that you work at a button at Gallimore High School.
Yes, I do. I work at a button at Gallimore High School.
How long have you been working there?
10 years.
10 years. So if you go to the United States, how long do you plan on spending?
2 weeks.
Okay, and is it your vacation time?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let me see the letter. That's your job employment letter, please.
All right.
All
Right
right.
here.
Okay, thank you, Professor Johnson. It does say you've been working there 10 years. Oh, what subject do you teach?
Business administration.
You like teaching business administration?
Oh, I love it.
Where does your mother live, Professor Johnson?
St. Anne, Jamaica.
What about your father?
He lives in St. Anne, Jamaica too as well.
What family members live in the United States for you?
I have no family members in the United States. All my family members are living in the United Kingdom.
Okay, so and this is you've traveled to the United Kingdom before?
Yes, I have.
And so tell me why you want to go to the United States?
I just want to experience another culture. I want to see what life is like in America and just to understand, their neck of the woods.
How are you going to pay for this trip?
I work, so I will finance it for myself.
Let me see the bank account you brought with you.
Right here.
All right, Professor Johnson. Come back and pick up here's your slip. Come back and pick up your visa. Good luck on enjoy your 2 weeks vacation in the United States.
Thank you so much.
Right.
You're
And
gone in
it's not even that in depth because they go much faster.
because
Like
9 out of 10 times too, council
they would have
asks me for the papers and stuff. Sometimes they
them not
don't
asking nothing.
even, they're not giving you, them not asking for no paper, them not asking for nothing. Well,
But
Ojai, how much time I got embassy and it always work.
no
So
man, Professor Johnson answer them on point.
what we do, I tell you, they
No
work.
man, they
You
answer them
have to
on
keep it
time.
concise unless they're digging something. Keep it concise because sometimes when you keep talking and talking, you pull in and you say some things and they might raise a little red flag or they might have question mark over it. And so then they start to ask you more questions like, do you have any family member in the US? Yes, I have a sister in the US. Oh, I did have one cousin over there. I did have one cousin over there. Like I've gone to the embassy before. And I remember the officer asking, like they would say, Diani, what's your middle name? And Diani would say, my middle name is Andrea. And yeah, man, then me grow up, my pet name is Andrea.
Too
So
much
everybody look and
information.
say, what is so
What's
the
that
officer
pet
said,
name?
what is a pet name? So that's another thing too. How we speak it or own vernacular
Yeah.
our own space. We have to make sure that when we are talking to them, it's clear because if and them have any little red flag, they might go feel like say them like.
Hmm.
And as me said, sometimes you can go and you can answer the best. You can be Oxford graduate.
Yale, Harvard, and they
Turn
still
you down.
deny you. You could
Literally,
have a green shirt and them don't like green and them
and
deny
they
you.
turn you down.
You could
So
come in
it's
and
at
you feel like
discretion. It's at
it's
discretion. So I just how them feel,
yeah.
right? And in
And
a,
there's no
in
appeal. No
essence
trying to
too,
appeal.
there's not. And in essence too, Diane, it's really it's a money making thing. So I mean, if you really want to come America, you're going to just have to try until you get it.
Right.
Me know people who go embassy 9 times, and I
And
10 times, and at the 10th time they go them get it.
let them just say galang, me can't bother with you.
Yes, I go there, so you're not give me. All right. Well, tell me if you come. All you got to block me. They eventually got it. So it requires patience. It requires you to kind of just make sure that you're answering everything that you have on that application because that is exactly what they're questioning you from the application. So when they might ask you who are gonna pay for the fare, you can't go tell them say a John Brown when they put on the form say you are gonna pay for it. That raises a red
And
flag.
that
Then
you're financially able to
you're not
do this.
financially able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I hope that answers your question, Colleen.
She said
Um,
clear. She said
yes,
clear.
excellent.
And I would
Another,
say again, Colleen, I would just try because you've traveled a lot. The person has traveled. I don't know if it's for you, but the person has traveled a lot. So
Mhm.
I would try again.
Another question I'm hearing too. When filing VAWA, can you petition for your children?
Yes. Yep.
So once they're under you, it's just like remember I know the VAWA
It's
replaced
just like any other
the
application.
spouse.
Hmm.
So anybody who wouldn't get the green card or would shouldn't get the green card coming with you, they would be eligible for it as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
Right. what else we need to talk about VAWA?
There's a so there over the years we've seen a lot of fraud with VAWA because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people will file VAWA just to get the work permit.
Mm-hmm.
I had about 2, 3 years ago, there was a gentleman in Brooklyn and they get charged too. There was a gentleman in Brooklyn where all you had to do was just go there and he'd file a VAWA application on your behalf, whether you've been married to anybody or not.
Oh.
Because his goal, it's one of those abused areas of the law
Mm-hmm.
because how easy it is to get that prima facie determination. Because that determination leads you to a work authorization and a social security number. So people love VAWA. So I would
Mm-hmm.
just warn my community to be careful in committing any kind of immigration fraud.
Yeah, because they don't forgive you with immigration card. You could have
No,
file waiver till Jesus come.
it's a
If you
it's a tough one.
fraud,
Tough.
it's
It's
hard.
tough, man. It's tough.
So
Tough,
nine out
tough.
of 10 times them are gonna say, yeah, I got Tanya illegal. I them
Hmm.
post back your yard, wherever that is for you.
Hmm.
Alright, so you want to make sure that you talk to someone who's sensible and know what them I
Talk to
do.
one away. You need
Yeah,
someone. One away.
of course. Talk to one away.
put,
Um,
put your link in the chat, Professor Johnson, in case anyone have any questions about VAWA.
right. Hold on 1 second. Alright, so soon drop that in there, D. Alright, so any more questions on VAWA?
I'm checking Instagram. I don't see any questions.
Let me go because you know what, I didn't have my thing over there. So let's go over there for a second. And you're gonna do just kind of do your latest introduction again. So hold on. Alright, so now we're live. Not this one. So when you have enough profile.
Which platform? Yes.
All right, people on Instagram. So, Professor Darren Johnson here, and we're talking about VAWA, violence against women, and I'm gonna include men too. Act, and we have our very own immigration boss, Attorney Deani Winter Funde, who also is a big proponent of VAWA. We're talking about who is eligible for VAWA, what VAWA stands for, and if you find yourself in a situation where your husband or your wife, spouse, or your mother or your father, parent, or your child, son or daughter, children, they took you from wherever you were and start to abuse you, or no one give you no money, no one you make no call to nobody, um lick you up, I mean physical abuse, maybe have
Mhm.
fights, verbally abuse, just say some really mean things to you that make you sit down in a one corner and cry for days and can't eat, right? Not even eat, eat,
It.
can't eat, right? um all of those things, those are different things that would kind of meet with you, and we assess, and we establish that, listen, all right, this was a good faith marriage, so that's step one. All right, then there is abuse, so we kind of mesh out the different types of abuse and how that transpired, and we get you to write a personal statement, and that statement talks about everything from your idea and knee,
Right.
um up to
I'm
the
on your
abuse.
Instagram. You see me?
Oh, you are.
Yes, I'm watching you.
So, right. So VAWA, it's an awesome benefit that a lot of people can get can petition, can use the petition for themselves, and especially to
Mhm.
the males, to men. A lot of
Yeah.
you sometimes you're afraid to talk up, you're afraid to reach out because you know, they might say you're tough and
Mhm.
you know, yeah, but there are protection out there for you. So reach out, because sometimes I know the relationships get sour, you know, things get really messy. And wife you decide say now file nothing for you, say it on your own, because you go to go get next pitney, you go to go do this, you go to go do that.
You
Yeah,
didn't say all that now. It's messy.
it's really, really messy. But
and
now,
and remember, you don't need a police report.
right,
If
right.
you're being abused, it doesn't mean you have to file a police report.
Right. But meaning you're going to go lock up this somebody. Because I
Right.
know nine
You
out of
don't
10
need it.
times too, people are afraid because they don't have nowhere to go. You have nowhere to
Mhm,
go and you're in the
mhm,
same room. So, oh, me I go lock up this somebody. Wait, me can't go do
mhm,
that. No, the only thing we'll probably ask you to do is to get a background check to make sure say you want we want to make sure say you're not no criminal or you don't
mhm,
have nothing on your background. We are gonna
mhm,
cost immigration. If they say, well, we cannot give you a benefit, you
mhm.
know, because you went in and stole something in Walmart the other day or whatever, well, whatever that looks like, right?
Right. Mhm,
So it's important, you know, males reach out, females alike, because I mean the females are always the one who them first are gonna come and say, listen, yeah,
mhm,
yeah, dish it out. I mean, but I know sometimes the males tend to stay back and they're timid to kind of really talk up about these things. So if you're here or if you know somebody who is going through hell and powder house, send them to me. Send them to us. We'll talk. And as I was saying, for those who are on Instagram, on a regular day, if you catch if you need to talk to council, it's gonna run you a good sum of money. If you need to talk to me on a regular day as well, there's gonna be a cost associated with it. So it's important that you know take this information and you know share it as well to other people so that they can get the help that they need. A lot of people, they are going through hell and powder house, as they would say in Jamaica. They're going through hell. They're going through a lot, and they have absolutely no one to talk to because again, this is their only way out, and they think this is the abusive spouse or the abusive parent or the abusive child is the only way out for them to get their immigration papers or their green card here in America. Not true. There are other avenues that you can explore. Once we assess and we see that you're eligible, we'll fight for you, and that's what we do. We fight for people every day. Fight for people every day, right, Council?
yes.
All right. So those who are on Instagram, I don't know if you have any questions. I see quite a few of you joined. If you have any questions and you want to ask, by all means, you can share them and we'll try our best to
We have
answer.
to answer. Yes. And I don't
Right.
see any questions over here. So I think we've answered a lot of questions.
All right. So Council, sound like we need to put on some music
Yes, I think
until
we're
we
wrapping
cool
up.
down. Yeah, because it's almost done. Everybody want to go see something, look at something and do them look at
And
something.
this is something from morning, man. Something season from
What?
much o'clock this morning.
All right. So Instagram, until next
So
time, I'm gonna walk good.
you
Me I
log
go
off program. Okay.
Instagram, yeah. So I can get
This light is not letting me be great.
what if you're a minor, how does that work?
As far as what?
Ivawa?
Hmm.
All right, so Ajay, if you're a minor, I mean you would be under that spouse or that parent or that
Parent, spouse, or child. So it wouldn't be a spouse
would
then
be a
because there's
spouse.
no minor. It would
Right,
be a parent or a yeah, and
right,
it would be a parent then.
right.
Because
Because of
minor
course,
means
you
you
know,
have no
minor
issue and you're not
exactly.
married. Yeah. So
Right.
the same rule applies. except now we don't have a parent and we may or may not have a child.
Right.
Yeah, but the rules still apply. VAWA still applies.
All right. Well, Andy, let me get some music here. But you know what? I realize me have to get the Jamaican music them so
We
YouTube
didn't
can.
recognize.
Yeah. So now have to bear with me.
Yes.
I'm only human. I'm just a woman. Lord, help me today to do everything what I have to do. Show
Show
me
me the stairway.
that I
I
have
have to climb.
become and Lord for
Lord,
my day. Teach me to take one day at a time. Yes, one
one
day
day at a
at a
time.
time. Sweet
Sweet
Jesus,
Jesus,
that's
that's
all
all you do.
I'm asking for you. Yes, Lord, give me the strength to do everything
Everything
I have
I have
to
to
do.
do.
Yes, yesterday's gone.
Yesterday.
All right. And for those who want to talk or want to set up a consultation, the link is in the chat. Click
Perfect.
that link and we talk. Consult. Where's your link? I not have your link. Where link? No, I have a link too. Of course, we have a link for
No,
you.
I think they should definitely contact you, and then, we're a team.
Talk
Teamwork
to you.
make the dream
We do.
works.
All right. One day at a
Teamwork
time.
Sweet
makes the dream.
Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. So for my sake, teach
Teach
me to
me to
take
take
one
one
day at
day
a
at a
time.
time.
Do
Do
you
you
remember
remember
when you
when you
walked
walked
among
amongst
men?
men?
Lord Jesus, you know, if you're looking below, there's
It's
words
worse now and then.
for the pushing, the shoving. Yes, they
The
cry.
silence and cry.
Yeah, I love for my sake. Yeah. Teach me
Teach
to
me
take
to take
just one
one
day
day
at
at
a
a time.
time. Yes, one day at a time. Sweet Jesus, that's
We're
all.
winding down, so we can just use a few more minutes to kind of play some music. All
No
right.
problem.
See, Attorney Gonique. One day at a time, indeed.
Hey, Ganique. Hey, counselor.
All right.
Thank you for joining
Oh,
us.
I'm asking from you. All right, Lord, give me the strength to do everything what I have to do. Hey, yeah. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus. And tomorrow may never be mine. All right, so Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. Yeah. One day at a time. Come on, sweet
Sweet
Jesus.
Jesus,
That's all
that's all I'm
I'm
asking.
asking for you. Come on, Toronto. Oh, give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Hey, yesterday
Yesterday's
gone,
gone,
sweet
sweet
Jesus,
Jesus,
and
and
tomorrow may
tomorrow
never be mine. All right, so for
won't
my
you say,
So we're gonna use the next 5 minutes to kind of sum up everything.
okay.
Um and then kind of just infuse this little music to kind of close out today. It's
And I
nice.
think we can also, Professor Johnson, close on a note of gratitude with Thanksgiving and family members. From, for a lot of my clients, Thanksgiving is hard because a lot of times they're here, families elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I know Thanksgiving is not a global holiday, for a
Right.
lot of clients here in the US who are semi transient, so they're Caribbean, but they do may
Eventually
have
kick
children
in.
that are American. Yeah, so it's a tough holiday for a lot of my clients. So I
Right.
don't want it to go unsaid for those families that are separated because of this
Whatever.
gorilla we talk that we call US immigration laws. We want to really be mindful of that. Tomorrow is one of the largest holidays in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving Day.
Mm-hmm.
And so, holidays people want to be with their families, and for some it's not a possibility this year.
Right.
I want to be mindful of that.
Well, you know what? They're immigration kind of family.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
God is my
I
keeper.
shall not fear.
God is my
Come, so we church you go.
Faith Tabernacle Apostolic. I was on the choir.
keeper.
Oh, why you like the dip?
My
And I know while you're sitting wherever you are, not gonna rock. You know, just rock a little bit and just enjoy yourself.
God is my
Oh, hi,
keeper.
needs to be a guest in a car. Oh, hi, faithful.
Mm-hmm.
He's here every week. He needs to be a guest, folks.
Down the road and I wonder, yes I wonder, oh I wonder. I look down the road and I wonder how far I was from God. So I buckle up my shoes and I turn it. Yes, I turn it. Yes, I turn it. I buckle up my shoes and I turn it. I turn it up
Come, Council. As I said, dip again, Council. Dip again.
to God. Look down the road and I wonder. Yes, I
Oh, I
wonder.
wonder.
Oh, I
I
wonder.
wonder.
Yes, I look down the
Down the
road and
road and I wonder.
how far I was from
From
God.
God.
So I buckle up my shoes and I turn it. Yes, I turn it. Oh, I turn it. I buckle up my shoes and I turn it. I turn it all to God. Hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Hallowed
Hallowed
be thy
be thy
name.
name.
Hallowed be
Be
thy
thy name.
name. Hallowed be
Hallowed
thy
be thy name.
name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Hallowed be thy
Be thy
name.
name.
Shall I fear? Who shall I fear? For the Lord is my light and my salvation.
Who
Who shall
If
I
you fear
fear?
nobody because vow on the light and salvation.
I fear? Tell them, behold me stand, deny the Lord, and there be evermore. Oh, we oppressed with sin, may I come in, may I come in. Oh, weary heart, oh, weary You are a sovereign God. Lord, we lift you up. You are a sovereign God. Sovereign God. Sovereign God. Hey, we pray at night. We pray at day. You make the evil one of them ways.
All right, Council. So, in a few minutes, we're gonna wrap it up. So we're talking about VAWA, violence
Yes.
against women,
Yes.
and man too, right?
Women and men are eligible for VAWA.
If you're in a relationship, if your child fell for you or your parent fell for you and they're abusing you, and we use abuse no means to them only lick you. They might really say some mean things to them, not help you, and things not really work out. Book a chat. We can assess the situation to see if it's VAWA eligible or VAWA ready. So we're gonna say if it's VAWA
Mm-hmm.
ready, right? And
Mm-hmm.
possibly go from there to see how best we can help you. But there's some benefit for every single one. It must really,
Mm-hmm.
really go bad, 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 bad. And when it gone bad, 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 then it's still I go take you up and look on it. See if possible, or if there's something that we can do. That's what we do. Right.
Yeah,
We
and I have this thing, VAWA worthy. I have this thing where I say, just like how you go for if you're in the US undocumented, meaning you're not on the papers, just like how you go for your annual checkup, you should be doing an annual checkup with an immigration lawyer because laws are always changing.
right.
And in our firm, we have like what we call the continuity plan, where
Mm-hmm.
you pay X amount of dollars for a year, and every year you get your little immigration check. It's like a health and wellness check. It's an immigration check
Mm-hmm.
because you never know where, like in the case of VAWA, a lot of people think, oh, I'm not qualifying now because Ray Tay Tay. Um, just
Right.
keep in mind that you have lots of options.
And for the undocumented people, just a reminder again, you have something that's called the ITIN. You can get it if you are
Yes.
here in the United States and you need a driver's license, depending on the states you're in, because I know some
Mhm.
states are different. Every
I think
state's
we're
laws
at
are
maybe 16. I know one, I used to keep track. We're at 14 states that
that
allowed
does
undocumented. I think that number
right.
might change.
It
It
might be
might have
more
grown.
right since then.
Mhm.
So if you're here in the states and you need a IT, you need something to get an ID, or
Mhm.
reach out to us because there are things in place, there are systems in place that can help you. We can help you to get an ID, we can help you to buy a house, we can help you to start your business, and we can really help you as an undocumented person to really live your dream. Because guess what?
Yeah.
Your dreams are valid. I'll be on a paper, on a
Your
social,
dreams valid.
dreams are still valid.
Paper
But
are no
we
paper.
want you to always have that at the forefront of everything that you do. That listen, despite this little hurdle, there are things that I can still do in the meantime. If you want a house, nothing up here, and you might want a house at Jamaica. That's something our firm does too. We like Danny talk about the continuity plan. We have the connections in Jamaica. We'll
Hmm.
make it happen, and you don't have to fly good on there.
Hmm.
Do everything. You just call us. We'll help you. We'll help you figure it out. All right. So we're gonna close out.
Oh,
You keep me
we thank
safe.
you.
Now I'm still here. You are a sovereign God. You are a sovereign God.
You are
Yes, you are a
sovereign.
sovereign God. Lord, we lift you up. You are a sovereign God. Yeah, you never failed me yet. You are a sovereign God.
Thank you, Ahai. Well, good. I love it.
Good and take
Good
care of
night,
yourself.
Carlene.
And for those who are in the States, have a happy Thanksgiving. If you
Hap-
celebrate Thanksgiving,
This is
with
our
family, friends.
pre-Thanksgiving show. We'll be back Monday evening at some time when we feel like it.
Right. Just to talk something that's going on in the
Yeah, we'll
English
see.
world
Yeah.
and educate
Blessings,
you.
Aisha
Blessings,
Lawrence.
Aisha,
Thank you for
up
joining us.
here in South Carolina.
South
Uh,
Carolina. Okay. Thank you for joining
everything,
us.
everything well gone. So big up on yourself and take care. Until then, Diani,
Walk good. And until then, Professor, what we say?
not a challenge.
Not
I don't want
you
to
say
say.
you were that was a little bit questiony.
Uh huh.
So if
Not a
somebody
challenge.
want to reach out with you, what do you say to them?
Not a challenge.
Not a
Not a
challenge.
challenge.
We make it
Not-
work.
We'll make
Thanks,
it. We'll
everyone. We
figure it out.
appreciate you all.
All right. I'm gonna take care of yourself now. Bye
Happy
bye.
Thanksgiving. Respect, respect.
All right.